It's really, really cold here in South Texas. I live in San Antonio, and this is what I woke up to this morning. Like, that's insane. That literally never happens. It's like in the teens here, and we don't have central heating in our house, so some rooms are really cold. Hello, my name is Shaggy. I'm the opinionated and cold hippie, and thank you for watching my channel. And I'm currently ranking and reviewing every single Frank Zappa album released after he passed in December of '93, and we are currently on number 48, Frank Zappa for President. This is a weird little album. Not really sure who this was designed for, other than maybe the hardcore fans. But it's an interesting little listen. I kind of like it. It's a single CD. It's like a single album. It's like 45 minutes long. It was released in 2016 during the United States presidential campaign, which takes years. These campaigns, people are already campaigning for the next one. We just, inaugurated something. We just inaugurated somebody. So this was released in 2016. And I think July or June, the summer. And it's got 7 tracks, a couple Synclavier pieces, a couple re-releases of previous release Frank Zappa stuff, but different versions, a brand new live 88 track. And it's not a bad listen, but it's not a great listen either. And it's just kind of weird. It's I'm just going to go through track by track because I don't really know how to describe the overall concept of what this is other than things that are presidential American thematically related or have the word president in them. So it starts with Overture to Uncle Sam, which is like a 13-minute Synclavier piece, a pretty subdued, atmospheric Synclavier piece. I was trying to envision, it's the overture to Uncle Sam. I don't know what Uncle Sam is other than maybe Frank envisioned another play in which the character of Uncle Sam, who is this Madison Avenue PR type creation in which this white bearded guy, kind of like me, says, I want you to serve in the army and die for our country. That's the patriotic thing to do. The music to this actually sounds to me more like pre-colonial the United States, like lost colonists wandering through like the woods of New England, like terrified of like witches and stuff. Like it has a cold feel like the movie The Witch, which recently came out. I don't know if you saw that. Took place in like early colonial times, the United States. But it has that weird feel about it. Like it's a very like spooky, kind of eerie, kind of creepy, long 13 minutes. Not a bad listen. It's actually one of the better Synclavier pieces Frank has done. I think I like it better than everything he released while he was alive, other than say Jonestown. It kind of is reminiscent of Jonestown. Is it creates a mood, but I really can't quite figure out what Frank is trying to say about Uncle Sam or America, other than it feels like spooky and wrong. It doesn't feel patriotic. That's followed by a remix version of Brown Shoes Don't Make It, that for those of you who love Absolutely So Free, you'll enjoy the little differences in what instruments pop out and what instruments don't. A version of America, which has appeared on Civilization Phase 3. It was also used as part of the backing music for that album I'm not going to name. This is the vocal version in which Napoleon Murphy Brock sings the vocals. So it sounds very much, and even the content of the lyrics sounds like it belongs in that album I'm not going to name, the one that came out with has Ike Willis on the cover with that horrible thing. That thing's not horrible, but the album is. It sounds like it's from that. Because the vocals kind of relate to like the creative person and all that stuff. So this might be an outtake from that album, but it would fit there if it weren't. But it's a Synclavier piece with vocals. Then there's a piece called If I Was President, which Frank talks about what he would do if he was president and how he would run for president while there's Synclavier music in the background. Again, this is one of those pieces that whatever momentum we have going for this album, right smack dab in the middle of it, you have like a 3.5 minute interview, which even though there is synclavier music in the back, I don't want to hear a 3.5 minute interview in the middle of my albums. But it's kind of interesting the things he says, because in a way, it's naive, because I think he puts too much faith in the American electorate to like seek information about their candidates. He puts too much lack of respect for the media's ability to influence and not provide a voice to those people they don't want to provide a voice to. And he also, in a weird way, predicts Trump, a complete outsider who comes in and just by being there attracts attention because he's not a politician. So it's a weird interview with a lot of contradictory sort of messages, or I don't know, like Frank had it right, but then he had it completely wrong. So it's a weird thing to listen to once, but for me, you don't want to go back to it over and over again. That's followed by a different version of When the Lie's So Big, the song that is on Broadway the Hard Way. This is a different live performance of it. Pretty much sounds the same, but some of the things that Ike says are obviously not what he says in the other version. Medieval Ensemble, which is another pretty lengthy synclavier piece. This one was less interesting than Overture to Uncle Sam, but also kind of the same tone, kind of a little more atmospheric and sparse. There was a repeated sound that kind of sounded like gunshots. I mean, not like a gunshot, but the way it like rat-a-tat-tat-tat, it sounded like distance gunfire, which is weird being that it's a medieval ensemble and they didn't have guns. And there's also a weird little bass sound that almost sounds like Moe's Vacation, like the 78 version that they would play live of Moe's Vacation. Kind of a weird theme of that kind of popping up. But this one is not, it's 6 minutes long. I think I said it was longer. It's 6.5 minutes long. This one was not as interesting as Overture to Uncle Sam, and I kind of don't like it. And then because it's a synclavier piece and it's just not that interesting. And then it closes with America the Beautiful, which was the absolute last song Frank ever played in the United States with a touring band. This was the last encore of the last show played on the the States portion of the 88 tour. He was planning to come back and have a fall 88 tour, but the band broke up and it looks like they never played again. So this is actually the very last song Frank ever played on the States. It is a cover of America the Beautiful with a guitar solo. There's some good like improvised vocals at the end. It's a really, really neat, fun performance. Ike Willis gives a great vocal performance of this. He sings. Frank's playing it on guitar. It's a really well done song. And it's a great way to end an odd little album. But I come back to this a lot because I like the Uncle Sam opener, and then the middle part is really just kind of so completely random. But I think there's better things out there, but it's interesting. So anyways, check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave comments below. Subscribe, all that stuff. I'm going to go to a room that's warmer now because it's in the teens here in San Antonio. All right, take care. Bye. Peace.